And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. How are we all doing tonight? My name is Jamie Morris. I'll be taking you through this short qualifying and the 50% race, which is coming up in about 18 minutes or so time. Apologies about the short delay. I think MDJ is fairly new to admin, so of course it will take a little bit of while to settle in. But we'll settle in, and hopefully we can have a decent qualifying session and race around this Qatar track. So last week we were at the Japanese Grand Prix, and it showed us the excellence and brilliance of Yarum, who won the Japanese Grand Prix from start to pole and did a mega job as Burmeister was hunting him down towards the end of the race, but Yarum defended from him, who went on to win his second win of the season as Burmeister is on a very good podium streak. So we've got some cars then out on the circuit. The first one is Yusuf Shebek in the RB. Another handy driver who's been looking very quick, but both of them who had a bit of a struggle last week at the Japanese Grand Prix. Both of them who could have succeeded really good results, but unfortunately gave a lot of points away and therefore lost a whole bunch of points there. So both RB drivers will be looking very strong so far, but they'll be looking for redemption after losing a lot of points, especially Mr. Joker, because we know these two have got some great pace on their day. They can be absolutely exceptional, but sometimes the odd mistake here and there does cost him hugely, especially for a championship like this. So this is SFR S17 Division 2, round number 12 of the Japanese Qatar Grand Prix. I was reading out the titles from last week when I had a screenshot of the results, so apologies about that. I was reading out the screenshot, but we're on board with the racing bull of Yusuf Shebek, and let's see then how he does. Both Egyptian drivers who almost took pole back at the Japanese Grand Prix, but they did start quite close together indeed then. So here we are on board with one of the racing bulls as he makes his way now towards the final couple of corners we go before we set sail on a lap around here in Qatar in the dust. Formula Endurance Championship raced around here, I think a month or two ago. I think it was a Ferrari 1-2 at the time. So on board with Yusuf down this 1 kilometre straight. You can see people taking different lines there as we now head towards turn 1. This long looping right-hander through turn 1, connected with the apex. Bring it out wide, but it didn't bring it out wide enough as we head through turn 2. Just missing the apex there as he gets back in the throttle. It's all about maximising every single part of the racetrack to try and gain the amount of maximum lap time. As we make our way now towards this double right-hander, we go in towards turn 5. Just gradually lift off the throttle there. Now, heading in towards the hairpin, the slowest part of the racetrack, in towards turn 6. There is some good opportunities to overtake around turn 6. Will we see that over the course of the Grand Prix? We'll find out as we make our way towards these corners. They come at you one corner at a time. Thick and fast, this boy. You can have your wits about you around this race circuit. You can't afford to make any mistakes whatsoever because sometimes it is very easy to lose the rear end of the car because it's so snappy, especially during the Grand Prix, as Yusuf excels all of the racetrack and even more of it. You can see him there going out wide. The Red Bull driver needs to get out of the way, and Yusuf lifts off through there. I think he was a bit hesitant because you don't usually lift off too much in that racetrack, in that particular part of the section at turn 15. So I think Yusuf might have got spooked a bit from the Red Bull driver, not knowing what's going to happen. But the line comes at you very quick because usually around here is where the lap time was or where the line was, but it's just a bit further up. So that caught me by surprise. Sorry about that. As his teammate Yusuf Faruk goes up into P1. Apologies if I do say your name wrong, right or wrong. Well, why would I apologise if I say your name right? Never mind. But anyways, it's an RB12 with a 21.155. So we know that one of the RB drivers has got some good pace. And Burmeister in the Williams, he started looking P11, I believe, at the Japanese Grand Prix, or P9 and P10, somewhere along the lines of that particular area. Now, Burmeister, he is very good in terms of race pace. His race pace is admirable. In qualifying, he does struggle. I don't think Burmeister struggles. Maybe he does or does not. I think that his setup more relies on the race in terms of qualifying. I don't think he has a proper setup. He focuses way more on race pace, as President Elite goes quickest with a 21.395, and that is a mega lap time. President Elite is also one of those drivers that can be brilliant on his day, but just gets tangled up in a few incidents now and then, or something goes wrong, like safety cars or strategy, etc. He was running quite lonely outside the DRS range of the top 4 back in Japan. He was running in P5, P6 around that area indeed. As we see then, all the drivers around the circuit. Yes, it is me tonight, unfortunately. I wish somebody was alongside me tonight, but I'm all by myself. Hopefully I got Owen Mansell with me tomorrow. Nobody's responded to me, so it looks like nobody wants me tonight. But anyways, here we are towards the triple right-hander with Caspino. Now, he's also one driver as well that I thought to be very, very quick. Don't get me wrong, he can be very quick on his day, but it looks like he's struggling so far in terms of the car, as he does invalidate on the exit at turn 16. Yes, Daniel, I'm a loner, and why don't you commentate with me tonight? As Caspino is in the pit lane then, as his lap time is ruined. Roder. Now, I think he turned up in the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, didn't he? He was in the Red Bull at the time, and his pace was so brilliant, but unfortunately that safety car that was caused by, I think it was Owen Mansell in the Aston Martin, completely wrecked and ruined his race because he got put amongst the rest of the pack that were on older tyres. He couldn't capitalise on his newer compounder tyres because I think he got stuck in traffic or made contact with a few people. I do remember him missing a wing as well. So can Roder find some good pace here, find some momentum, and get himself back towards the top end of the field like he should have done back at the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix? MDJ, who almost won, he was so close to winning in Japan, but unfortunately the man picked himself up a 3-second tyre penalty, and that could be his first win since season 15, unfortunately. But I do know MDJ is quite strong around here. I think he did win the Qatar Grand Prix Division 1 a few seasons ago when it was him versus Harry Kane for the championship, as both Ferraris then settle into P3 and P4. There's the Mills in the background diving off in the pit lane as he's already completed a flying lap then. Talking about the kick-start of Roder, he just put himself on pole. It's a 21.286, and that is a good lap time there from the kick-start driver who is looking for redemption to try and not boost his championship aspirations because he's not in the championship fight, but just get himself amongst up there. As we see Alex Copo for me has also been, to be fair, or quite vague about it. Is that the word vague? No, it's not, because obviously when you say vague, you don't really describe much in detail. To be ruthless about it, I expected more from Atlas Copo this season, because last season he put on pole a few times, he got close to winning, he had quite a few podiums last season, but he's been a bit of no man's land so far this season, hasn't really shown what he's capable of. I'm not quite sure what it is, because he just seems to be lacking pace so far, overwhelmed by his new teammate of Neymar in P9, as I think somebody else has moved up the pecking order. It is VMS Yarum who goes up into P4 with a 21.590. So both Yusufs are on their outlap in the Racing Bulls, and the two Egyptians trying to go towards the top of the pyramid and put themselves first and second place. Who else is out there to fly up? Nobody. So let's go on board with the highest RB driver. It is Yusuf Shebek then in P7. Let's see which one of these two can put themselves on pole position. We know they've got the pace to do so, but in terms of race pace consistency, that's where they lack. That's where they get themselves muddled up in contact, etc. Because I remember Mr. Joker got involved in a bit of contact and President Elite as well. So they need a clean race. As long as they have a clean race, be very clean. Think about the longevity. Think about the race endurance. Be very methodical and planning as well, because that's what you need. Being fast is something, but being very consistent, being very patient, and also, yeah, it's very funny because, like you said, well, no one said, but it's very funny because, yes, you need to be fast at the same time, but at the same time, be very patient and you need to go fast at all times. But you can see both RB drivers, they give each other a toe as Yusuf Shebek takes turn 1 very nicely as well as we head down towards turn 2. Just a little lift off going in towards turn 2, but it is very counterintuitive when you say be patient and yeah, just think about the long term, because obviously in Formula 1 you want to be very quick, but at the same time you want to have the right strategy. You want to make sure you plan your moves at the right time too. Don't be rash, don't lose your head, etc. as well. It's all about the mentality you have as well, the race pace mentality. I know it because I've been through it before. You can be very quick, but sometimes being very quick is not everything. Think about the tortoise and the hare. Obviously not in real life or in the game, because that is not an analogy you want to be fixated on. Yes, the hare did win. No, the tortoise did win. That's because the hare took too many breaks and got distracted. But here comes Yusuf then, a 10th up in the middle centre as he flies through this triple right-hander in 7th gear. As you can see, I think Yusuf I think Mr. Joke. I'm going to call him Mr. Joker to make it easier. As Velocio Jr. in the Aston Martin goes into P3, Berto is very key around here, as you can tell. As we make our way out the final two corners, here comes one Yusuf across the line. It is P4, and Yusuf goes towards the top of the pecking order. He goes towards the top of the pyramid, and it is a 21.234. That toe was beneficial and sufficient for him to put himself into first place, and I do believe both Aston Martins are also orchestrating a slipstream. Both Aston Martins in the hands of President Elite of Velocio Jr. looking very strong so far. Can they keep it up? Velocio Jr. is currently P4 in the championship, 0 wins but 2 podiums, Belgium and Japan. Quite surprisingly, because he has got good pace, but he just can't seem to hook it up when he needs to. Abu Dhabi should have been a podium/win, but unfortunately made contact with his own teammate at the time, back in the RB, when he was Yusuf Shafek. As President Elite, I love the way he turned into, I think it's turn 11 at the time, as he flies through this triple right-hander, just keep it nice and tight, carry the speed, full throttle. Let's see what he does into this left-hander. Some people do lift off and downshift into 6, but as you can see, President Elite keeps it foot to the floor. And now he heads around the final corner. This is going to be a good lap time, I think, from him as he makes his way towards the line. What's it going to be for him? It's a 21.337 then. Just missed out as Ruder in the kick Saber goes into P2. There he is, actually, on a flying lap. He's a 10th up in the first sector. So let's see then, can he keep it up in this twisty middle sector? It's so easy to make a mistake through here. You need to set up the confidence as well. Know your reference points, know when to get on the throttle at the right time, making sure you brake traction. And look at that, a 10th and a bit in that middle sector as he now carries the speed through in the triple right-hander. I love this sequence of corners as well. Now shifted into 6. I like to see all the drivers' racing styles as Emils goes up into P4. I love to see all the drivers' reference points and preferences as well, and different tactics and different styles. And here comes Ruder towards the line. What's it going to be for the Sauber? The Sauber is on pole with a 21.063. And let's see if that lap time is good enough to stay on pole. Anybody out there improving? I'm not quite sure. Both Ferraris, once again, are looking strong. I just hope for their sake they don't end up spinning as Emils goes up into P5 in the Ferrari. Caspino and Klusner. Klusner as well, I dare say, is what I hate to talk about drivers in bad demeanour. But sometimes you've got to be very honest as a commentator. You can't always say, oh, this driver's done so well, etc. when I don't want to say when they haven't, but sometimes you can be very blunt about it. Blunt, there we go. I know, like, for example, commentators when I've raced, they've always talked about the good and bad performance. Obviously, I'm not going to slander the driver, etc., saying you've done a very bad job this season. But I will be kind. I'm not going to be Dr. Helmut Marko. But at the same time, as a commentator, you've got to be very honest at the same time. You can't always sugarcoat it or go around the bush, etc. You've got to be very straight to the point, because that's what you like. I know in the pen interviews that the interviewers don't ask the right questions all the time because they're scared of losing their jobs, etc. But I'm not. Well, I don't get paid for this. Lie. But anyways, the Ferrari in front of us spins. Who's that? It is Emils who's going for a spin. There he is. But yes, I've learned to be more braver on commentary. I used to be scared when I talked about a driver not doing well. I used to try and pick my words carefully, but I'm quite sure that I'm very confident now to talk about any driver if I want to. If the drivers don't like it, then fair enough. But yeah, I wouldn't like it either. They used to call me Spindigo when I used to be called Indigo. They called me Spindigo on stream, and that used to really annoy me. But at the same time, I didn't want to say anything because I knew it was funny. I knew it was a bit of humour, so I didn't really want to say anything. But Yoram is a 10th of the first sector, not his usual qualifying position so far in P9. Look at that. Do you know how quickly that qualifying's gone? I've been by myself, and this qualifying has absolutely flown by. Unbelievable indeed. That's how much fun I'm having, even when I'm alone. But here we are then, Yoram towards this triple right-hander we go in 7th gear, as I got a certain guest with me in the party. Any words for you? Single man, reveal yourself. And Yoram goes a bit deep in the final corner then, on board with the Haas as he dives off into the pit lane. So I've got MDJ in the party with me. I'm not quite sure if he wants to say any words. You got any words, MDJ?
No, I was just trying to creep in and not say anything.
No worries, mate. I'll pretend you're not here. So, every single driver is back in the pit lane, barring Neymar then. So, it's quiet before the storm around here in the desert of Qatar, Doha. And I do like Qatar as well. It is a fast-flowing track, like the East. I was about to say East Midlands. Sorry about that. The Middle East always has some good tracks. Bahrain, Saudi Arabia, Qatar, Abu Dhabi, I'm not quite sure. It's a 50-51 for me. Especially, well, the modifications of the track have definitely improved the racing in the past few races this in the modern Formula One day cars. But I do like those tracks. Sometimes the Middle East can produce some good tracks as well. And we got Joker and Yusuf out there on the track there. So can the Joker play a card up his sleeves and try and get a pole away from Ruder? Ruder looking very quick so far. I think he made one appearance back at the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. He did. Made his one appearance at the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. It was the, as I said, Abu Dhabi. And he scored some decent points. It should have been a possible podium, but during the second stint, he got caught up in some incidents and lost his wing. And that's when it changed for him dramatically as well. Look at that, a flurry of cars exiting the pit lane then. And by the way, guys, I need to mention this as well. I am ill, so if you do hear me be quiet at random points, it's because I'm muting my mic and I'm coughing in the background. So do bear with me. And 17 drivers then will be in a session because one of our lovely driver of Melnus has decided to join. A former Division 1 driver, a driver who's regularly in Division 1, scored top 10 finishes, and he's here tonight in Division 2. And I don't think he'll have a qualifying lap either because we'll start at the back of the field. There is no time left. And look at this then. It's the other way around, I think. It is. So, Mr. Joker is giving Yusuf Shabek a slipstream. Not only a slipstream, but he's giving him a tour around this track. And this is quite common because sometimes the dirty air in qualifying can be quite beneficial because it's not as effective, the dirty air, as it should be. It's not quite harsh, it's not quite punishing, and in reality you don't see this in Formula 1 whatsoever because even if you get a little bit close, the dirty air will start to affect the dynamic of the car, therefore get hot, therefore sustain, oversteer, understeer depending where you are, and the engine will get too hot. Because this game is not really realistic, you can get away with this too, and this tactic does work. Depends what track you are. If it's Monaco, then obviously you won't bother. Hungary, you can get it. I did it in Hungary, and it worked in my favour. So look at that. Yusuf is 2 and a bit tenths up in this middle sector. He is absolutely flying. Can he climb towards the top of the pecking order? Let's see as he comes through 7th gear now, using a bit of overtake. We'll have a lovely slipstream down the straight thanks to his teammate Mr. Joker as he heads towards the final corner. Let's see what the RB driver could do. They both cross the line right now as Yusuf goes to P2, and that's a mega lap time. RB in P2 and P3. Qualifying is done and dusted. Every single driver out there on the circuit. Ruder is out there, but unfortunately for him, he is down by a tenth in this middle sector as we ride on board with the Kick Sauber. Can he raise the bar? Can he extend his advantage as he makes his way now towards the line? What's it going to be for the Kick Sauber as he crosses the line now? Oh, he extends it just by 0.04 of a second there. Mega lap time as the Red Bull is next across the line. Where can he go? It's Lord Danny Boy. He goes up into P11. I think the Williams now is making his way towards the line. Burmeister goes up into P7. Mega lap time from him. We know qualifying is not his strongest suit. But here comes the Aston Martin duo. Let's see what they do. And it's Personal Elite who takes pole. It's a 20.9. What a mega lap time from Personal Elite. There's his teammate giving him a tow. And Velocio Jr. is into P3. Ruder is in an Aston Martin sandwich. And Aston Martin are officially back. Joram crosses the line to go up into P10. And Klausler in 16th place. Where can he go? 16th, unfortunately. No, 15th, sorry. Moves up 1 place. But it's the Aston Martin duo on pole. I really hope, for President Elite's sake, he finally gets a win or a podium. I don't think he's got neither yet this season. But he's very quick. It's just that little things just get in his way. Little obstacles that just seem to be an obstruction for him every single race. And just can't seem to catch a break from it. We know the man's got the pace. He just can't seem to put the pieces together, can he? I think he made contact in the chicane, didn't he? In the Casio Triangle chicane in Japan. I think it was him. But let's see what Aston Martin do then. They've got the cards, they've got the track position, We'll see. Can he make it work to the advantage? I think Energy Dan's here, obviously, because he joined the session. So I think he's going to be my commentator tonight. And yippee, I'm not alone. Well, thank you, MDJ, for keeping me company. You can stay in the party if you want. I know. For some obsession, for some unknown reason, you like to listen to me whilst racing. It must be a turn on for you. But anyways, we're gonna invite Energy Dan to the party. For those who don't know, MDJ likes to join the parties to listen to me speak whilst racing. It must turn him on or something. I'm not quite sure, but we'll see how he does tonight. As Energy Dan is in the party with me. Energy Dan, welcome, mate. Nice to have you alongside me.
Hiya, Jamie. Yeah, nice to be here, mate. Nice to be here. How are you?
I'm good, thank you, mate. I take it you just joined the session.
I have. I'm in. Ready for the twisty turns of the DRS train that is Qatar.
The fuel drainer as well. As we read out the classifications, President Elite is on pole ahead of Rudder. Electro Dan's P3 ahead of Velocio Jr. is P3. Electro Dan's so quick, I thought it was him in P3. Both RBs in P4 and P5, Zenom in P6, Neymar P7 ahead of Emils. Burmeister, the Dutchman, the championship leader, is in P9. Do not ever discount this man in P9, Burmeister. Yarlam's in P10, and DJ's P11 ahead of Adams. Lord Danny Boy and Atlas Copa P13 and P14, Klausler, Caspino and Monus, who round off the bottom row of the grid. So what's your expectations here, Dan? What are you thinking?
I think it's going to be quite elbows out, a bit of contact, maybe a few people, a couple of spins maybe, because it's just so difficult and frustrating round here. You've got to be on it, and as soon as you make a mistake, the person behind is jumping on it. And then obviously, if you've made that mistake, you don't want to let that person overtake you, so you blast your ERS and you blast overtake to make sure you stay in front. And it's a DRS train. It's just the worst thing about this track. It's a fun track, but the battery replenishes very quickly. I mean, for the majority of the race, you can pretty much run it on hot lap. A couple of places just turn it to none, and you literally back up to like 80-90% in a few corners time. It's ridiculous. So I think this. I think this track needs a few little tweaks from EA and Cody's just to make it a little bit more enjoyable. It's just, yeah, DRS train. The battery's overpowered. What do you think, mate?
I concur as well, because like you said, if people make a mistake, they blast the ERS, and the problem is, like we've seen in Austria, where people use a lot of ERS and they don't get past, they put it in non, and in corners like these, when you put it in non, it bunches everybody up, and therefore contact is made as well. So I wanted to talk about the ERS system in this game, because I've not had the chance to do so, but when a lot of people drain their battery because they're so desperate to overtake each other, but they can't, so therefore they slap it in non, and people who don't use the battery behind, they catch up quite easily because they've got the ERS to the level they want it, and everybody just bunches up. It's like a Constantino effect type shit.
It is, yeah.
Sorry.
I think it's track dependent as well, Jamie. Some tracks, the ERS is pretty much 50-50, where you have to balance between using and harvesting. A track like this, where you can basically just absolutely spam it and you don't really lose, unless you've depleted and then the person behind you's got 70 or 60, 50 or 60% more. It doesn't really punish you. You can afford to just spam the hell out of it. And I think Cody's and EA need to tweak it track dependent. The same way with the DRS, they need to nerf that so bad. The DRS is just so overpowered on every track, apart from the ones where it gives you turbulent air, and obviously that's detrimental to your race. But yeah, there's a few things that I think if EA and Cody's tweak for the next game will make this game much better. But at the minute, they're just falling short, and DRS and ERS is definitely one of those. I'm happy with the traction model, to be honest with you. The only thing I'm not happy with traction is the actual traction control. I think that's too overpowered, especially around here. Some of these corners, even I was, a gentle lift by 10-15% and then back on the throttle. But these guys that are running full TC or even medium TC can just keep the foot flat to the floor, and for some strange reason, it doesn't punish you on tyres around here. You can actually still be quite fast with worn tyres, and that's going to be the issue. I was waiting for the guys to drop off, and last night it was actually myself that dropped off. I was like, normally I come quite good towards the end, but the tyre wear just wasn't like it was on the last game, or the last season, should I say, where people were struggling to even finish the race, and the fuel consumption's better on this season. I think I did 2 laps over, and I finished just about 2 laps over. It was fairly neutral. So yeah, there's a few issues, and there's definitely a few issues with this track, mate.
Indeed, in fact, there's a lot of problems with this game itself, so I can't wait to go over F125, but I doubt that game. I hope it's better. We all pray and hope it's better. We wish Codemasters and EA listened to us about the problems, because we don't need all this BS with the home tub or whatever they implement. Like, majority of features I've used, on this game, I haven't really used. All we care about is pure racing. That's damn about all the fancy jazz that we usually see on, like, let's say, when they try and copy things like Fortnite or Call of Duty or whatever, when they try and put all the stuff in the game we don't really need or use. We just care about the racing.
I know what you mean, but I think there is a split demographic in these games. Obviously, there's the hardcore league racers like ourselves that we just go on, we practice, we do a few little bits of time trial, we do practice races, and then do our races. And I think there is a slightly lower contingent, maybe 20% of the target audience, that are like the newbie racers, that like doing the career mode, that like doing the challenges and things like that. And I'm sure there's people out there, an even smaller contingent, that like trying to collect as many decals as they can, or doing the cars up and all that. And 50% of the users of this game are people like us. I'm only guessing these stats. This is not like I've got something in front of me, but I'm guessing there's 50% of the people on this game are hardcore league racers, and then there's the other 50% is made up of lackadaisical guys that just come on and do a bit of a GP mode, and then another percentage that want to just do TT or just do the career mode. I'm sure there's a few people that like doing the co-op career mode, and if that tickles your fancy, then fair play, you go for that. But I'm like you, I've not touched those features at all. I think I did, at the start of this game, I did the first race of the career mode, I was like, nah, screw that, I can't be asked for that. It feels like a waste of time, because it is another problem, Jamie, because GP mode and online mode are totally different. If you practice entirely in GP mode, you're going to struggle when it comes to league racing, because the traction models are slightly different, the tyre wear is different, and that's the crossover they need to fix. You should be able to go into GP mode and do 3 races a week and turn up for your league race, and it'd be the same. But it's not. The handling's different when you go from GP mode to a league race. The handling is different. Like the car behaves different, the fuel's different, the tyre warms up different, and that for me is a fundamental flaw in the game.
I agree as well, but the features I said, I think Grand Prix mode's fine, career mode's fine obviously, and time trial, etc. But I think like all the things we don't really need, like obviously you got pure league races like you said, and like lackadaisical guys that just come on, just have a bit of fun, etc. But all the other stuff, like I don't know, I can't really tell you unless I'm actually on the game. So somebody has invited me. I can't really tell you unless I actually look at it properly. But hopefully F125, F125, I really do pray and hope it's better in terms of the realism and the handling as well. But here we go then, as all 17 drivers line up on the grid. We've got Ruda on the mini compound tires. We go back to your point soon, Dan, when the lights go out, and we can see then all the drivers waiting patiently as you look up towards the panels. Just be very patient, look, but never stare, as Martin Butter says, as Mr. Joker has left the session already. But it's 3, 4, 5 lights. And we are underway here in Qatar. It seems the Aston Martin Flotio Jr. gets a better start as Roda takes the lead of the Grand Prix. Here comes Yusuf Chabet now. We're going 3 abreast into towards turn when we go. Is there any contact? Yes, there is contact. The RB goes into a half spin, and it's a bit of carbon fibre spooned off the track there. Lewis Hamilton, Russell and Verstappen type mix. As now we've got Burmeister dropping down the order. He's demoted into P10. No idea who has picked up damage there. We'll find out later. As right now we've got Flotio Jr.
Yusuf Farouk, mate. I think he's not got damage, but he's down in last place now, mate.
He left the session, unfortunately, as we go down towards turn 6. MDJ now the inside of the McLaren driver in the background. That's Williams. Is that Burmeister off the track? It is. Burmeister's off the track, and he's had a dreadful start. In fact, Burmeister, our championship leader, unfortunately sustains damage. That's going to be detrimental to his race, and that's a long race from there. If a safety car doesn't come out, if he dares go the podium and wins, I'll lose my head.
Yeah, luckily he's on the hards though, so he can go longer, and within the next 3 laps they will start to come good. So it's going to be hard for him to get back up there. But oh no, Burmaster's got massive damage, mate.
Yeah, that's what I was alluding to. That's the reason. Oh, Burmaster's on the medium actually. Oh, you talk about when he pits, he goes to the hards.
Yeah. He's going to have to go hard, medium. Oh, man, that's ruined. He needs a safety car. Yeah, he's in. I don't know why he wasn't going to go in then, but yeah. There's been a lot of position changes, Jamie. There's quite a few people that have dropped multiple positions. And if we go to detail and we go to position change, we've got the down and the lower end of the field. Emil's down 4 positions. Otoscopo's only down 1, but Yusuf Farouk down 11 positions, and the Burmeister down 8 positions. So 2 biggest losers there from that contact at the beginning. And of course, President Elite has lost the lead. He's now in P2 and he's trailing by 1.5 seconds.
He's going to lose a lot of time because I think President Elite is on the hardcore power tyres, hence why Ruder's used those mediums to capitalise and gain a lot of time. Like we saw the Japanese Grand Prix when I think it was Pitbull Turbo, who was on the medium power tyres. He pulled away massively, but his strategy ruined was because of rain. But obviously, I don't think he expects any rain here tonight as well. So Ruder's got to use the medium power tyres to his advantage. Jarvam is right at the back of President Elite. He's also on the meds, so he needs to get past him quickly and catch him towards Ruder.
But I think Ruder will he'll lose this advantage in about 3 laps time when not lose the advantage, but it'll stabilise. I think Ruder needs to basically use the tyres he's got now for the next 2 or 3 laps to build a sizable gap, and then just keep above 2.5, maybe 3 seconds, and hope that Yarham and people like Yusuf Shabayek can basically push Yarham and President Elite into fighting to keep that 3 seconds. But it doesn't always work like that. You know, we'll soon see in 2 or 3 laps time. But I think Ruder's in a good position now, but he needs to make sure those tyres don't go off too much, but also lean on them a little bit now.
I'd say also who's losing places at the start of the Grand Prix is Zenon, because I remember him was fighting with Yarvam about a lap or 2 ago, as Adams is now side by side with Lord Danny Boy. Then let's watch the McLaren and the Red Bull, but the McLaren loses out the advantage with Lord Danny Boy up the inside in towards turn 4 and 5, going down towards turn 6. It's the right-hander which can catch a lot of people on the exit in terms of track limits as well. So these guys are settled in. We've got quite a mixture from people on the mediums and the hards. In the background goes wide is Mona's then. But what is the best strategy, do you think? Mediums or hardcore power tyres? It depends where you are and how much of a advantage you can gain.
I think it also depends on your pace, but I strongly believe the medium to hard is better. It's just, it seems silly starting on the hards because you kind of get behind the medium runners, and then they pit, and then they get all the DRS, and they get the extra speed from that, and it just doesn't seem to work out on this game. But I am just watching, Jamie. You've got in P5, 6, 7, and 8th, you've got a hard tyre battle going on between Velocia Junior, Neymerg, Zenon, and MDJ, and they are not wavering at all. Every single one of them's hitting the apexes, hitting the braking points really, really sweetly. It's just who's going to blink first, who's going to make a mistake first. As we just see MDJ going past Zenon, and he's going to make he's going to do two overtakes in one move. Or as we just see Neymer coming back at him, MDJ is on the outside now. Will he get the outside line, faster speed? No, he doesn't. He has to pull out. So the Mercedes driver actually pulls that off and gets the position back. So fair play from those two for clean racing.
Indeed, then MDJ coming through on the hardcore power tyres. This is the man that won the Qatar Grand Prix in Division 1, I think season 15 against Hurricane and Laser. Hurricane missed that race, I think, because he had, I think he had a football match, and I think Laser finished in P2 on that day. In fact, I think MDJ was the one that crashed, or Hurricane would. I think I'm getting them muddled up because it was quite a long time ago. But anyways, it was Hurricane that crashed. MDJ went on to win, surprisingly.
Here's one for you, Jamie.
Hurricane crashed. Go on.
Neymar is in this sandwich between the Aston Martin and the Red Bull, and out of the 3 of them, Neymar's actually got the worst battery. He's sandwiched between people that have got a really healthy battery, so this is going to be really interesting the next lap and a half to see what happens here, because I think Neymar's in a bit of a bad position.
Yeah, he is indeed. Yeah, Neymar on P6 there, just sandwiched in between people. It's very easy to lose a lot of battery around here as well. To try being so punishing. Ruder now sets the fastest for the Grand Prix. Still good performance on the medium compound tyres. He's actually building more of a gap towards Jarvam, who's now under pressure for President Elite. As President Elite moves himself into P2, Yusuf has caught up despite the first lap contact. MDJ goes into P6. In the background is Lord Danny Boy. I don't want to jinx it too early, but a decent race for Danny Boy.
Is that on Lord Danny Boy? He's going for the inside move. Oh, he had to pull back out. Sorry, I meant to interrupt you there.
It's all good. But Danny Boy's having a good race this time. I know he struggled back in Japan in the last few races. His actual last decent race was at the Austrian Grand Prix when he finished in P3 as Neymar is the first one to get a second title team. We know track limits is going to be brutal around here. And let's see, he goes deep in the breaker zone at turn number 6 there, which gives an opening towards Danny Boy. And Klausler's got past Adams as well, as Adams comes back down the inside in towards turn 7. Let's see, it's so tight between those two. 5 margins as Klausler goes off the track. Might pick himself up a warning for that one as Adams squeezes through and puts himself in to P10. But Burmeister is so far behind, and he might be lapped soon because look where he is on the track map. Sauber of Ruder's quite close.
So I'm just looking as well. Ruder and President Elite, the time is plateauing out now. I think this is the crossover point on this track for the mediums and the hards, because the time just isn't altering much at all. He just lost a 10th there in that one corner, and it's just come back down again. But it's hovering around that 3-second mark within a 10th. So I suspect in the next 2 laps you're going to start to see President Elite or Yahan start to rein in on the leader bit by bit.
Indeed then, as Yarwell puts himself back into P2.
Contact! Neymar's gone into the back of Velocio Jr. and he's got damage.
Oh dear, which one's got damage? Who?
Neymar, I believe.
Seems to have
yes, Neymar, left wing plate is gone.
Oh dear, what a shape for Neymar, who has been struggling recently as well. Another driver who's been caught out, and here, going to be very careful. Oh, he's contact between those two. The door shut in his face, and here comes Danny Boy, here comes McLaren, and the Ferrari goes through. 2 plates skid at once, but he goes off the track almost. He goes wide in the braking zone, but capitalised. That was beautiful from Zenum there, who just went on the outside, now the inside line. Beautiful moves from Zenum. 3 places gained in the space of 2 corners. That's the Ferrari we want to see. And here comes Danny Boy now, swooping around the outside because the Mercedes has lost his wing.
This is the problem. This is the problem. He's the cork in the bottle, and I thought he was going to fight. He's actually keeping out the way now, but no, he's back being a cork in the bottle. Got the McLaren driver behind him, and he's trying to go to the inside, but he's just not really giving up any space for these guys behind. And the guys behind need to read this. They need to realise that Neymar's got a problem, or there's going to be an accident. This is the issue when people have wing damage. If you can't get past, and the guys behind just think that you're tussling, and then all of a sudden the guy in front that's got damage brakes early, and it causes instant galore. You just see McLaren going past him. He gets to the pits. He's going to have to go across. And I think that's excusable for Neymar. He had no choice but to cross that pit entry line.
Look at this. The battle for P2. Contact. Yarlum oversteered into the side of Yusuf, and thankfully kept his wing intact. I really do hope his wing is still intact. Is it? I can't really see from this angle. Let's have a look to see if it's still there. Oh no! He's got a broken end plate, Yarlum.
Oh. On the right one, right side.
Yeah, right side.
He has. Oh no.
But
he's on the mediums. He's on the mediums, mate. He can go to the hards now if he wants. It's going to be hard, but it's not all lost. He can go to the hards if he wants. He could maybe latch onto Youssef and just stick with him for a few laps. If he can stick with him, it's fine. But I would change that wing when you go into the hards.
Yeah, he has to, because he'll lose a lot of performance understeering, especially in the triple hander. Oh, off the track goes Zenum. So the hero to 0 in the space of 2 laps, because he made up some good ground from going from P8 to P5 in 1 place. But unfortunately, Zenum has made a mistake. Was there contact with Danny Boy and Zenum? He's rejoined right behind his teammate then. So a lot of drivers, but I'll tell you one driver who's doing a really good job too. The man in P9 in the Williams, that's Melnus. S17 to last, actually, to P8. His teammate currently occupies last place, as Yusuf now powers his way past to put himself into P2. Where's Mr. Joker? Mr. Joker's on P14. He's on the back of the DRS train. Molnus puts himself into P7. And here comes Mr. Joker. Rises to the back of this battle. Into turn 1 they go. That's the Haas versus the McLaren. Look at that, going side by side. In towards turn 1 and turn 2. As we swoop through this left-hander, the McLaren driver just stays in front there. And I'm not quite sure why I'm not watching that, because I'm watching it way far back from the RB's point of view with P14.
I tell you who is doing really well, Jamie, and that's the new appointed admin of Division 2, MDJ, who's up 6 positions, along with his teammate Lodonibo, who's up 7 positions, and they're on the hard tyre. I didn't expect that. I thought they would be a little bit further back than 4 seconds, or it's now 5 seconds, but yeah, I think they're doing alright. If they can try claw some time back as a pair, that would be good. If Lord Donivy can push up onto the back of MDJ, I don't know if these two work well together, if they're teammates, if they work well as teammates, but If they can close up together and DRS swap, they can close that 5-second gap within about 10 laps, which would bring them up to about their medium stint crossover. Oh, actually, what tyres are on actually? Split strategy then. Right, okay.
The championship leader, unfortunately, is out of the Qatar Grand Prix, and that is going to be, I think, his first retirement of the season. It is.
Why? Why do drivers retire a third of the way into a race? I don't get it.
I'm not quite sure, but his race was going nowhere. MDJ's up into P4 ahead of Monas then, so there's a lot going on this Grand Prix. Obviously, this track is attracted to overtakes as Emils and Zenom then going wheel to wheel, but Emils goes deep in the break, so it goes off the track there completely as he slows down. So both Ferraris, what's he doing? He's staying off the track. Get back on it, mate, quickly.
Jimmy, do you know of any world champions, past or present, that have won a championship by a single point?
Yes.
So why is Burmeister just retired from a league race where we offer points for full positions? That's what I'm getting at. I don't understand. If it comes down to the wire and Burmeister loses the title by a point, or even 2 points, 3 points, because he's in 17, so what's that been? 3 points. If he loses the title by 3 points, it's all because he retired at Qatar. Neymar's retired
too.
Oh, why?
Do we have any idea what happened to him in the early phase? Because he had a good qualifying, but unfortunately just dropped backwards. Do you have any idea?
Who? Burmeister or Neymar?
Velocio Jr.
Oh, Velocio Jr. I do not actually. Oh yeah, he had an incident, didn't he, with the V car? Yeah, Velocio Jr. and I'm pretty sure it was the Visa Red Bull car, or Visa Cash App car.
So I've just seen something on the track. This is like the 3rd time I've seen it. So I don't know why, when somebody retires in the pit lane, a yellow flag comes out, because Monas overtook the Red Bull of MDJ on the track, but a yellow flag came out, so we had to give the place back.
Yeah, it's not a glitch. It always does that. It's been in every single game. I don't know why. It doesn't make sense, but it is a thing. They do on that 300 meters either side, or 300 meters of that finishing straight. They yellow flag it when someone retires. I don't understand why.
Yeah, it's just ludicrous. It really is, because it disrupts the flow of racing. We don't need that yellow flag at all, because they retired in the pit lane. But the thing is, though, the retired car comes out of the pit lane.
No, I think it makes perfect sense if you put a yellow flag out on the only DRS section on a race where you need the DRS. I think that's perfect sense, Jamie. So fair play to EA and Codemasters, because that is genius. That's sarcasm, by the way. Everyone's listening.
Oh, thank God for that. I was about to counteract your point there. I was thinking, what the hell are you talking about?
That was just a bit of satire commentary for you there, guys.
But anyways, the key points of this Grand Prix, that Roda has pitted from the mediums to hards now, and thank you, Feb1, I do remember what happened now. So, like you said, Velocio Jr. had damage from the RB, and interestingly, he's still got damage because he pitted but didn't change his wing.
Oh, was that a choice or a error in not changing it? Because I think, here we go, Jamie, I'm pretty sure you'll like this. For the new game, I think you should be able to set your wing damage percentage rate to change before the race. So if you lose 10% of aero, don't change. 20% of aero, don't change. Whatever, you set it for the race. If you're losing 30 points of aero on the front, change. Do you know what I mean? So you're able to set, as an engineer, how much aero you lose before you automatically change the wing.
And by the way, Daniel, yeah, I agree with what you said, by the way. But can you invite Velocio Jr. back to this session, please? I think Killian,
yes.
Killian has asked me to. So, but I'm losing focus actually in this Grand Prix because so many things are happening and we've got so many discussions to talk about. So Roda has rejoined the P11. Remember, he was the person that started the midi compound tyres, the leader of the Grand Prix. Now he's altered to the hard compound tyres to take towards the end of this race. So he's gone to mediums to hards. That is the preferred strategy around, well, majority of the race circuits. Hards to mediums can be doable, but that's if you are esports level. But I think for these guys, hards to mediums to hards is the norm. So he's behind Atlas Copo, Danny Boy's pitted, and Roda just be patient as No need to make any sort of silly move. And look at this battle for P2. Melner squeezes up into P2. What a mega drive. One Williams falls, the other rises. As one Williams falls from the top of the field, the other one from the bottom of the field comes through. MDJ and Adams now in a battle for P3, but MDJ is very smart as he backs out of it and settles for P4 there. So Melnus, what a mega drive from the Williams driver. The man who struggled in Division 1 later in the season, who got dropped into Division 2, and he's missed a few races in Division 2, hasn't raced for a long time. He's came back and showing us why he's still a contender. What a mega job so far, but the hard work isn't done yet. There is still one stop left for him, as those guys at the heart haven't pitted just yet, and they won't until later on in the Grand Prix. So hopefully...
I'm just inviting people.
No worries, mate, no worries, just making sure. But hopefully, the Aston Martin driver, Jarvom, gets a 3-second time penalty, unfortunately. He just came out of the pit lane about 3 laps ago, and unfortunately he's got a penalty. So he pitted quite early from the mediums to hards, and unfortunately he's got a 3-second time penalty. He should have a big undercut on the guys ahead who are on the medium powered tyres.
Yeah, I think Rulder is in a good position now. I'm not sure what is from the leader. He is 21 seconds, so he's a pit stop away from the leader, and they've got at least another 8 laps to go on those hard tyres. So I think, yeah, Ruda is still obviously your on-track leader per se. As we just see a few more people pitting there. Alex Scopo and Yusuf Farouk is also pitting. Also Klaus is pitting. Was that? Oh, yeah, so I thought Jan got a pit lane penalty, but it's not. It was a time penalty from before. Zenon picks up a penalty though. But yeah, as I was saying, Rulder is looking really good for the race lead still. Unless he gets into any incidents or slow cars, he should be fine.
Yeah, Rulder unfortunately during his second stint on the hardcore power tyres got caught up in incidents because he was behind slow moving traffic and lost his wing. So that interrupted his race and ruined it too. But here in Qatar, for his sake I pray, fingers crossed, no commentary occurs, it's plain sailing, which he needs for his second appearance here in SFR. Can he make it towards the top? We're about to find out, because we're almost halfway into this Grand Prix. We've still got people yet to pit for their scheduled stops. President Elite in first place, the half runners. There's quite a few of them in this Grand Prix as well that haven't pitted during this race, but they won't pit until later on because they don't want to pit too early and therefore suffer the lack of wear on the medium compound tyres later on in the Grand Prix. So they're elongating their first stint, making sure those mediums are comfortable making it towards the end.
Yeah, I think the only bad thing about the tyre wear around here, it's not so much the pace deficit, it's the ability, it's the more chance of making a mistake under braking. That's where the tyre wear kicks in. It's not like a track like Imola or Monaco or Singapore where tyre wear makes an issue, makes a big difference. I don't think it does round here. I think it's more to do with increasing the chance of a lock-up or just slightly missing the apex, because the tyres don't feel bad. Even last night I think I did 21 laps on the hards, and even at the end, even though everyone else was faster, I didn't feel like the tyres were giving up, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I understand you. The hardcore powered tyres, even though when they get older, they're durable. They're so durable. Even when they get old, they still feel so good. So I do like the hardcore powered tyres in this game, but the mediums, when they get old, it's just so hard to recover because you start sliding everywhere. It's so horrible when the medium powered tyres get older and older. But it's all about who can manage it. And these guys who are changing over later on the hards to mediums, later on the Grand Prix, when they go on the mediums, they should be good. They should have the wear, but we'll see towards the Grand Prix how it all phases, because these guys go for hards to mediums. I think last game hards to mediums was a very good strategy, but it was just very repetitive. It's like you can predict who's going to do what strategy. It's not like multiple strategies in the 50% league race where things are different, strategies are different. That's what I want in league racing too. I want variety, because in this game and the last game and other games you see this DRS train, you see the predictable strategies going on. You want to be more varied, etc. You want to make it more exciting for league racing.
Yeah, and there's a way to do that, Jamie, and that's increase tyre wear drastically. You know, make it so that the 2-stop and the 1-stop is a gamble. You know,
yeah.
I think the tyre wear ratios or the tyre wear delta towards distance or in accordance with distance is again a bit off on this game. The only way you can do that is by going 100%. And I think if they realigned 50% with the tyre wear of an actual race, I think you'd see a little bit better league racing, because you've got those people that are trying to make the 1-stop work, or the safer two-stop. You know, that's where the excitement's going to come from. At the minute, in the last 2 games, it's hard, medium, and medium hard. You know, that's it. Hard, medium, medium hard. You've not really got any tracks where it's different. I think the last time we had that was 2 games ago, Hungary. You could do a 2-stop and make it work. It was faster than 1-stop. And Canada, Canada is another one. I stand corrected. Mexico was still, I still feel it favoured 1-stop. Abu Dhabi was one actually. But yeah, there's a handful of tracks where it used to be. Everything's just 1-stop. And the only difference is whether you start on the mediums or you start on the hards. It's a bit, that's what's a bit boring. I think we should spice it up, turn the tyre wear right up, you know, a good 20% difference, you know, 20% harsher tyre wear, and watch league racing be so exciting. I mean, it is exciting for me. I love it, but I think we're in a bit of a lull here where I feel like EA and Cody's have just taken the finger off the button a little bit and they're not focusing on what really matters, and that's the racing. You know, who cares that we've got an update for 3 GB or whatever for the colour of some driver's gloves? Who gives an absolute crap about that, do you know? Fix the game. And I'm going to stop complaining because this stream's beginning to be a Jamie and Dan moan about EA games, so I apologise for that.
No, but at the same time, we need to talk about it because I feel like every time I've commentated, I've only just talked about the race. Obviously, I'm going to talk about the race, but we want to talk about external problems as well. And
I love that. I could talk all night about it, Jamie. I could.
I've never had a chance to speak to anybody about it. I just need to I love to speak about the race, etc. But in terms of elsewhere, speak about other things that make it more interesting because it brings more of a conversation. You know what I mean? It makes the conversation better. We talk about the racing, we talk about other problems as well, and it brings the group chat, the chat in play as well.
Do you know what it is? This is like an EA Games and Cody's support group. Hi, I'm Dan, and I've hated EA Games and Cody's for 2 seasons now. It's been 2 seasons I've last liked a game.
I'm very good when it comes to commentating, talk about the racing and fixate what's happening, but it's like I've been distracted a little bit with all the conversations going on. I've not really focused much on this race. Obviously, I kept up to detail, but I'm really enjoying these conversations, like hashtag SFR. Tune in the conversation like Sky Sports do. President Elite, they've rejoined the P5 on a brand new set of mini compound tyres.
I was just about to say that about Ruler's looking really good and President Elite's not too far behind him on a fresh set of mediums. So 12 laps on mediums though, it's doable. It is doable. I mean, of course it's doable, but 12 laps round here, they are going to feign against the hards. Even like we were saying about the worn hards, they're not that bad. The worn mediums are rubbish. So I think we're not going to see President Elite tackle for the win, but I think it'll be within about 4 or 5 seconds at the line.
Yeah, I do think he'll be blistering quick, but I think his tyres might, in fact the crossover point might happen as well in the next 7 or 8 laps, so I think the advantage so far goes towards President Elite. We'll see, you could be wrong, could be very good on the mini compound tyres.
I would say I was about to give my, what's the right way to say this, the opposing opinion to that. Ruder's already on 6-lap-old hards, they're in their window now, they're operating great. President Elite's got about 4 or 5 laps of fast tyres now. And I think after that it's starting to wane a bit, so I think it's kind of neutral in my opinion.
We'll see how it all plans out then, but 11 laps left to go in this Grand Prix. Adams has pitted from 3rd place as MDJ continues scrapping away with our net race leader as Zenum has now set the fast lap of the Grand Prix on the mini compound tyres. So Adams rejoins in P6 just ahead of Yoram as well, so great scheduled stop for Adams, plus he's looking to undercut 1st and 2nd place, which is MDJ and ML. If he does that, that'll be mega for him. He's rejoined in some nice clean air.
Right, so 11 laps from the end. Would you like my prediction for P2 Delta to P1?
Go on then. We know you're right. You said it back in Singapore.
4.8 seconds. 4.8 seconds.
I wish I had a crystal ball like you. I've got balls, but not crystal ones.
The thing is, I'm going to be wrong because I'm making a meal of it, but I think 4.8 seconds.
I've been recently very honest to commentating. I'm not really hesitant to say anything anymore. For example, this driver's underperforming, this driver's not doing well, etc. This driver needs to do something better. I'm not being too harsh about it as well, but I like to see drivers who do underperform, who do struggle, who make the wrong strategies, or just make general mistakes when they shouldn't be, do better. It's really nice to see that as well, but sometimes it takes a lot of time. For example, Zenum's a very good example, as Adams then overtakes Atlas Copo before the final corner, but the main important question is, where is he going to be in terms of Melners? Because Melners had just pitted, he was fighting in that group of cars before he pitted. So let's run on board with the McLaren driver. Oh, there's a spinner, is there? It's a safety car! A safety car's been deployed! And was that Zenum? Of course it was. He spun before the pit lane entry. Can you believe it? MDJ is in a fantastic position to go on the medium compound tyres, take them towards the end, and have a scrap. This race has completely been blown out of proportion, and Zenum's retired. Why would you retire? It's a safety car. Literally. A safety car has been deployed. Why on earth would you retire? But anyways, I'm going to go to the toilet. I'll be right back.
Yeah, I don't understand that either. But yeah, safety car around Qatar, that is an odd one. I mean, I don't know the stats, but I would say the safety car probability around Qatar is very, very low. But yeah, so what will Rulda do? Will he come back in and put mediums on, or will he stick on those hards? I think he might need to, because MDJ is obviously going to go on mediums. So for me, if I was Rulda, I would definitely be coming in for some mediums. But then you're going to lose. Oh no, he can't. He can't. If he pits, he's going to come out 10th. If 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th stay on the hards. If they pit, yeah, he might be alright. But this is going to be very, very interesting to see what happens. So, MDJ's in. Rulda's in. Rulda's in. President Leet's in. Adams is going to stay out. He's on fresh mediums. Oh my god. Adams is going to take the lead of this race. Melners stays out. Yaham has to come in. Klauser has stayed out on 6-lap old hards. What? Rulda's gone on softs. Wow. Okay. Interesting. Love that. That's great. Atlas Copo is quite far behind, but he's on fresh mediums, so he's going to stay out. Can he do a bit of a cheeky, beat the delta, slow down, make some places? He probably is. I'd do the same. I'm going to slam on now. Get the delta back under. We all know how to play the game with the delta. You get 15 seconds, so he's probably used that 15 seconds to blast down the straight, and this race has literally been turned on its head, apart from the head of the snake, which is MDJ, who was in the lead, pitted, stayed in the lead. Adams, oh actually, where did... Yeah, Rulda come out in 5th, fair play, but he's on the softs. So this is very, very interesting. MDJ head of the snake in 1st, Adams in P2, Melners in 3. We've got Klauser on oldish... relatively new hards. He's going to struggle because he needs to keep those hards hot. He needs to keep them hot, and that's going to mean he's going to take tyre life out. Rulda on the softs, which is going to be rapid, but they only last about 4 or 5 laps. So he's going to be under pressure from President Elite. I actually think President Elite is going to take Rulda by lap 27. So that's going to be very interesting. And Yusuf Shabak on fresh mediums. Lord Danny Boy, Yaham, Yusuf Farouk and Velocio Jr. pretty much on fresh mediums. So Jamie, are you back?
Indeed. So when I...
Have you seen the shock of what's just happened?
I have, mate. And when I went to the toilet, I listened, and you said a safety car around Qatar is very odd. Yes, it is, because there's so much runoff area. You don't expect a safety car around Qatar. But unless, of course, in 2023, with Perez, Hulkenberg and Ocon crash, that's the only time you'll see safety car. And Liam Lawson, too, when he spun off that at turn 2 in 2023. And Hamilton, Russell, and Verstappen, when they make contact, I'm pretty sure there's more than that, but I can't really remember. But you don't see safety cars around Qatar unless they crash into each other.
So, a couple of things. I don't know if you was listening. I think Klauser was forced into playing a gamble. I think he's going to finish 6 or 7 positions down from where he is now on those hards. Rulda is touch and go if he can make it to win. President Elite is in a very good place. I think Melners is also in a good place, but he's going to be under massive pressure from Rulda once he blatantly overtakes Klauser over the line. And then you've got Alex Scopo, Youssef, Shabek, Lodonibar, Yaham, all at the back. They're going to be pressurising the pack when it gets going. But I don't think MDJ has an issue, because I think Adams is a little bit slower than MDJ in race pace, so I think he's safe on that front. I think Klauser is going to save MDJ, Adams and Melnez, because unless Rulder can get past Klauser over the line, and I think if he plays it right and just accelerates in the right manner with the right distance, he'll literally overtake Klauser at the safety car line. If he gets it wrong, Klauser is going to be an absolute massive cork in the bottle through all of Sector 1 and 2.
This is going to be like the sprint race in 2023 when Oscar Piastri went up to win. Hamilton and both Ferraris were side by side, and Alex Albon, who made his way up to the field as well. The sprint race here in Qatar is shaping up to be an excellent one, because the dynamic of this race has completely changed. The pecking order's changed as well. The tyre strategies have been changed around, and we see new leaders, the people on the hard compound tyres who benefited, are now up the top three. Adams, Melnus on the podium for the first time in SFR4 since a long time ago, I dare say. The safety car is in at the end of this lap. Adams hasn't had a podium since the Singapore Grand Prix, and MDJ is still searching for his first win since season 15. His last podium was at the Hungarian Grand Prix in season 16 in mixed conditions. The stars realign for MDJ. This is a second bite at the cherry for MDJ too, because he was leading in Japan until he picked up a 3-second time penalty in the latter stages. But this is a goal opening one as Joram gets a 10-second time penalty. Sorry, Yusuf gets a 10-second time penalty for collision there, and their races go from bad to worse for both racing bulls. 12 left in this Grand Prix. Let's see what happens towards the end as MDJ will take us away for the safety car restart. He's listening to us commentate because he's here in the party with us, and let's see, will he be talking to us after the party? We're about to find out now as it's falls to the floor. We race once again, and in the background, what's happened?
Rulder missed it. He had to brake. So he's missed out on that overtake over the line with Klauser. Klaus is now going to be an absolute cork in the bottle, like I predicted.
As we see then, the safety car restart underway. Rulder has to get past. He needs to capitalise, because these soft compound tyres, like I said, they don't last too long as he goes slightly wider towards turn 2. What a move from Yusuf to put himself into P7. He goes around the outside of Alas Copo in towards turn 2 now as we continue in these slow speed corners. So watch out for Rulder in the first 2-3 laps before the soft compound tyres completely fade away. We're not even, for the people who are new to this game, you're thinking,
he's going to go for it. He's got it. Superior traction out of that sharp hairpin, and he's through into 4th place, and he's now going to chase down BRS Melnese.
For people who are not familiar with the F1 game, welcome along. And also, if you're thinking, why are we saying that the soft compound tyres don't last for 5 laps? So it's only 5 laps, but you don't understand the brutal way of the soft compound tyres. They fade away dramatically. They're more used off a qualifying tyre, and plus they're more used when a safety car comes out towards the last stages. Not now, but like 4 or 5 lap sprint race, and that's when they can use for the soft compound tyres. But it's a bit too early, and therefore his soft compound tyres might fade away. But he still needs to capitalise. I think, right behind us, Cluser's under massive pressure. Here comes Elite around the outside in the final corner. Look at the flow, look at the rhythm. He got past him. That's a lovely move around the outside. And now here comes the racing bull of Yusuf Shabek right behind the Haas, but the Haas is in the slipstream. He makes his way back on the Aston Martin as we head down towards turn 1. DRS is enabled. It's a late move, and through goes Yusuf. He's up into P5. What a move from the Racing Bull drivers. He saw 2 people go wide and make contact. He says, thank you very much, I'm taking P5 away. The problem is that the top 4 pulled away out of DRS range.
Okay, here's another one for you, mate. We've got President Elite on 2 warnings. We've also got MDJ on 2 warnings. So 2 really good drivers that could potentially lose out for penalties. President Elite lost a couple of positions there, or 1 position, sorry. But MDJ has to be super careful. If he goes over that white line, he's losing 3 seconds, because the late safety car, that can drop him 4, maybe even 5 positions at the finish line.
And as you can see, MDJ's pulled away from Adams. Now, the tyre life is 2 different. You may think, 2 laps, that's not a difference. But trust me, 2-lap tyre life does make a, I wouldn't say huge, but yeah, how would you describe it?
It's the tyre warm-up that is different. Newer tyres warm up better than older tyres. But yeah, it's going to be interesting the last few laps, because I don't think Rulder's making enough headway on these guys. He's actually using quite a lot of battery as well. So I think Rulder's in a kind of like a no man's land right now. As we see Melnes get past Adams, Adams is going to go defensive, and he does. Oh, as Rulder goes to the inside, but thinks better of it. But yeah, Adams has now been overtaken, and he's now going to be the cork in the bottle for Rulder. This is not what Rulder wants to happen. He needs to get past Adams, because I love Adams, he's a great driver, but he is the slower driver out of these four, and he's doing really well. So props to Adams, but it's not doing any favours for Rulder. And Rulder needs to. He's got maybe one more lap of these soft tyres before he really loses any credible attempt of making an overtake on Adams.
The top four, all four of them, have had their struggles in different divisions, etc. throughout the course of the season, and they've had the highs and lows. Majority have been lows, I dare say, but all four of them have got something to prove. MDJ, who got dropped from Division 1 to Division 2, and now he's fighting for a win/podium. His first win, his first podium since the Hungarian Grand Prix in season 16, I dare say, when Laser won that Grand Prix. His one and only win, Laser as well, in that season against Harry Kane. And Melnus, who got dropped from Division 1 to Division 2. He was a regular top 10 finisher until the streak was ruined in Imola when he spun out of turn number 10. Is it Peratella, the left-hander? Peratella in Imola. And Adams, who was a contender last season for the championship in Division 2. But this season, here comes Melnus for the lead of the Grand Prix. Despite losing the DRS, he's brought it back, and now he takes the lead of the Grand Prix. Adams gives MDJ a bit of a love tap, but now they're back together, all three of them. This is going to be spicy towards the Grand Prix. I have no idea which one of these three, or four, depends if Rulder can stay there, which I doubt he will.
Well, here's one for you, mate. I think Rulder is going to make a move in the next 3 or 4 corners. This section is where he's going to need to use these tyres. It's his last lap opportunity to use these soft tyres. It's going to be now or never. The next 4 corners is what's really, really crucial for Rulder's race finish.
Did he have enough? Did he have another set of the medium compound tyres, Rulder, in his disposal? Because
I
soft
doubt
tyres
it, because
was optimistic. Do you think?
It was optimistic. I said that straight away.
I don't know, because obviously when you choose the balance strategy, you have 2 sets of mediums, don't you? He's used medium hard, medium and soft tyre.
For the last 3 games, I've never chosen anything except having 2 mediums at your disposal. I don't see the point. Always choose the 2 mediums because it covers you for so much.
I agree. I really do agree as well, because when I chose balance in the past, sometimes when multiple safety cars come out, you don't have the extra option to use a set of hards and mediums, and you've got to use the softs for some reason, so I do agree with that.
I'm going to swear now, but the softs are so shit on this game, there's no point using an extra set of them. It's just, it's not even a bullet to put in your gun. It's like, oh yeah, I can use an extra set of softs and be really disadvantaged. You know, it's like, it don't make sense.
Yeah, the softs are so bad, unless of course it was games and games ago where the soft compound tyres was actually decent, but nowadays the soft compound tyres is known as a qualifying tyre.
But like we said earlier, it's medium hard. Unless you Rulder, who does medium hard soft, but you know, it's ridiculous.
Like lap 24, 25, then yes, put on the soft compound tyres if the safety car came out there. But he's still there, you know, he's done a good job so far. But will he lose ground in the next few laps? That's the question.
Maybe he will, maybe he won't. But he's trying to push now. But just looking at the top 3, and it's not a coincidence, the top 3. Everyone in P4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, all 2-stop. So it just shows you. I mean, okay, there might have been a few people that were caught out and decided that they wanted to be on a fresher tyres, and that's why they stopped twice. But you know, 1, 2, and 3 leading this race and looking racy on a 1-stop.
Even Adams, who pitted before the safety car came out, still up there in P3 because that's the hard compound tyres. We're not saying the hards or the mediums was the better strategy, but in hindsight, it is the better strategy because the safety car came at the right time for the hard runners. We don't know in the moment, but let's see. We're going to see some DRS games here, unless MDJ goes for it now, which he won't. I know what he's doing. He's making sure that Adams doesn't overtake him, so he can have the DRS for himself later on in the Grand Prix. So MDJ P2. It's all down to Adams and MDJ, really, because Melnus isn't the cork in the ball. Melnus, no! Oh, Melnus, he gets himself a 3-second time penalty, and any chance of winning or being on the podium is out of the question. So Rulder could be back on the podium.
Adams is not in a great place right now because the 2 guys in front have almost a full battery, and Adams is pretty much under half, and Rulder is almost full. He is literally the jam sandwich in a crap storm. is the filling in the crap storm, should I say. So Adams either needs to recoup some energy quickly and stay in front, or he's going to be losing this podium. He needs to play this extremely smart. Maybe he's getting pulled along by MDJ and Milnes, and Rulder is starting to fade on those softs, so maybe that saved him, because Rulder's dropping back now. Maybe these softs are starting to fade, but he was really low on battery. But I think FLG Rulder's choice to go on soft is what's going to save Adam's podium, because I can't see any other way of Rulder getting past now, even though Adam's got a crap battery.
I'm not understanding why Adams is not. He hasn't used DRS down the straight at all, so we're going to use it. I know he doesn't want to overtake MDJ just yet, although he's in a precarious situation.
But he's not saving. That's what I don't get.
Exactly.
That makes sense if he was saving, but he's not saving. He's depleting. He's like 33%. Like, what the hell are you doing, Adams? Just harvest for this lap, mate. Come on.
I've noticed in the last 2 laps that riding on board with Adams, he hasn't harvested the battery, so that's what he needs to do. But it's too late for that now, I think, because MDJ will have the battery on Melnus to overtake, and Adams doesn't. So I think, look at that, even using ERS in the corner like turn 6 is not the smartest play to do it. But I think his ERS management has let him down a bit so far in this Grand Prix.
Yeah, I've also noticed Rulder is using overtake out of the corners quite a lot, rather than just going in hot lap. I feel around this track, hot lap is actually more overpowered than overtake. The overtake, because the straights between the corners aren't long enough, I just feel hot lap is better, because you can just ride it through the corners and you don't lose that much, and you can harvest as you come off the throttle. But he's using overtake. Maybe I'm wrong, maybe, yeah, I mean Adams is still really low, he's like 20%, so maybe this is ruled as ticket to the podium, because this could be an overtake now. He's not even in overtake yet, but ruled it now he's in overtake. I don't think he's got enough time. Adams is going to have to go defensive here. He doesn't actually. Wow. I was shocked at that. Okay, this is going to be a blistering last lap, and Jamie, as always, I'm going to leave you to do it, because your last lap commentary is amazing.
So there is 5.3 kilometers left to go, and Yarram almost spin. We've almost forgot about his second pack, the battle for P5, and they lost the DRS because Klausler was on the hard compound tyres and still is, hence why these guys get holed up and therefore not in the fight. Yusuf in P5. Oh, Yarram in the background again, losing time and traction. Got a 3-second penalty, but they're 1.8 behind. Rulder, it must be said, has done a stunning, excellent job on the soft compound tyres, because he's still keeping up despite being on 9-pole softs, and they wear out so quickly as well. They grain massively. The intern wear just starts to overheat a lot, and therefore you don't have the grip, but it seems to be holding on very nicely indeed. Adams has actually dropped out the DRS range, but it won't matter because it is the final lap of the Grand Prix. MDJ did not go for the overtake, so at this, oh, Adams has got a 3-second tyre penalty, and he's cost himself a potential podium, because Melnus Cow can finish in P3. In fact, Yusuf, keep an eye on Yusuf, but out of the final corner, Melnus will come across the line to finish first. But MDJ, for the first time this season, he wins! He has won the Qatar Grand Prix after a long period not winning. It is Melnus who claims the final spot of the podium. Adams, unfortunately, out of the podium in P6. What a race that was. And the safety car changed the whole phase of that Grand Prix. But Melnus, the driver of the day, from last to third. Incredible journey on his return back as well. He joined the session very late in qualifying. I don't think he expected the podium here tonight, but we'll invite the drivers in. Only 2 drivers need to be invited because one of them has been sat with us throughout the whole Grand Prix. But it is Rulder who returns back to the podium after an unexpected one. He didn't expect himself to be back on the podium, but thanks to the expense of Adams, who got himself a 3-second penalty, unfortunately down into P6. And Melnus, Rulder was going to score a podium anyway because he didn't have a penalty. Melnus was the one to be dropped down. It was Adams who finished in P2, P3, etc. But right. What a shame.
Jimmy, who needs inviting in? Sorry,
Rulder and Melnus.
Okay, 2 seconds.
MDJ's already here with us. He's been here the whole time. Just keep
Hello, man.
There he is. We'll start with you later, MDJ, because obviously you won the Grand Prix. We go from P3 to P1 if you know the procedure. Have you? I don't know how much you heard, but have you enjoyed the commentary in this race, MDJ? That's the question.
Wait, what?
Have you enjoyed the commentating in this race?
Yeah, I've enjoyed it very much. It helped you concentrate so much at the end.
Well, MDJ, I got something to say about that because when people talk in the party, etc., when I'm on a flying lab or in the race, it distracts me. So I'm not quite sure how you manage to cope with people talking, especially us. We're shouting, we're literally shouting when things go wrong or right or something exciting happens. So how do you cope with us talking?
Well, I figured, like, I have a friend that is in a party with me most of the times, and he talks constantly to me. And because of that, I figured out that because he's talking to me, I'm able to concentrate way better. So most of the times when he's not here, I'm just joining this party to get your talking. Like I can hear you.
I mean, obviously our commentary is amazing, isn't it? So
I mean,
know you wanted to say that.
it is like the best.
Sometimes I forget you're here. So yeah, it's like there's a third person to play with us, but it's a silent person.
Man, I mean, yeah, but this is just a personal preference. Like, not everyone like to listen to someone while they're racing, and I do. So.
Well, here's the thing, MDJ. I don't like being alone when it comes to league racing. I want somebody in the party with me, but at the same time, I don't want them to talk on my qualifying lap or in important parts of the race. I don't like being alone either.
Everyone's invited. I expect them in momentarily.
So Roda and Monus back on the podium. Unexpected for Roda because of that 3-second tablet. Monus because of that 3-second tablet towards the end. He'll be frustrated knowing that a win could be potential. But still did a great job on the last lap to defend despite being hunted down with DRS with MDJ and Adams. Adams though, he's going to be kicking himself. I know what it feels like on the last lap when you're in a good position to pick up a penalty or something just goes wrong.
That was
so frustrating.
You know what?
To kick yourself in the head.
That was Adams' race of the season by far. And he is a quick driver. I think he's, in terms of Division 2, he's not the quickest, but that performance tonight by Adams was second to none. That decision to pit early, stay in the lead, when that safety car happened, it was amazing. And the only mistake he made was the second to last lap, where he went a little bit deep into that medium left-hander, and then obviously when he got that penalty. But other than that, he was almost flawless, so fair play to him. I don't think we're getting anyone in. Let me just double check. Oh, Jamie, you've done it. Right, you beat me to it.
I was talking, but unfortunately I was muted. So I was saying some good lines, but unfortunately it's ruined now because I was muted. So let me say it again. What did I say? I don't know. But yeah, MDJ, a man who has been struggling so far in F1 24. It's been a struggle to a lot of people because we've seen a lot of people who were very fast in F1 23. But to the transition on F1 24, a lot of people have lost their pace and they've struggled. There may be some of them have got there slowly but surely, others have adapted quickly, other people just can't seem to fully adapt to this game or figure out the way of the game. But MDJ, a man who was challenging for the championship against Harry Kane for the past few seasons and Laserlord as well, did a mega job. He is a multiple race winner, a championship contender as well, and a multiple podium sitter. And when we saw him return back last week at the Belgian Grand Prix, last week at the Japanese Grand Prix, he did a mega job, but unfortunately he picked up that 3-second penalty. He was close with a 3-second penalty with 2 warnings to his name, but just managed to make sure he kept it nice and clean and not risk it all and take the win away from Monus. So I don't think these two are joining. I did message Monus. He reacted to my message with, he put where? Let me invite him again. And let's see what happens. Apologies about the
Jamie,
wait, guys. Yeah?
Have you seen my message to Roller?
Where is it?
I thought, well done tonight. Unlucky on choosing softs, mate. Bold but fold.
Let me give him. I'm not quite sure if he knows how to join podium interviews or not, or join the parties in general. I hope so. I've got him as a friend, so hopefully he does join the podium interviews.
DRS Milners. I have definitely invited him.
Check your
2 secs.
notifications. Here he
Here
is.
he is.
Took
Here
your
he
sweet time,
is.
didn't you, mate? Well, Malnus, you know me. I spoke about you a lot last season in season 16, and I talked about how you regularly finished inside the top 10 in season 16 Division 1. But you did struggle back in Imola at the top of Piratella. When you ended that streak, you finished inside the top 10. Your results were always good. You were very quick at the same time as well. But you were very close to podium on a few occasions, but never seemed to pick it up. And here today, when you return back in Division 2, you have done a mega job. How does it feel? How did you feel from going from Division 1 to Division 2? Did you feel more comfortable? Obviously, we haven't really seen you race a lot this season, it must be said. But you're back now, and I really hope to see more of you because you are a really good driver. You started down in 17th place, mate. What was your expectations heading into this race? Did you practice for this race? Because we saw you join late through qualifying. In fact, you didn't even set a lap time because you had no time. So I take it you didn't have any preparation for this race. We saw you involved in a lot of battles as well. We saw people drop out like flies due to their own mistakes and contacts. What was your reaction when that safety car came up? Because you were fighting at the time with MDJ and Adams. Adams did the undercut as well. Then you went to the pit lane, and when that safety car came out, what was your reaction? Yeah, was you worried about the guy behind you on the soft compound tires order? Because the soft compound tires didn't really capitalise, did he? He didn't really threaten you throughout the race. So, were you a bit nervous at the time that he was going to be a challenge to you? You had no thoughts about being on the podium, did you? Because in the last few laps you picked up a 3 second penalty and Adams didn't. So you were driving around, then all of a sudden Adams picked up that 3 second penalty. So you went from just driving around hoping to get P4, then all of a sudden, oh, he's got a penalty. I'm going to be finishing P3 here. Talk us through that reaction. Wow, congratulations, mate. What a fantastic race at the Qatar Grand Prix. Finishing in P3, you should be very happy as well, because that's the bonus we want to see, and hopefully we see more of you. And if you do come back next week, how do you feel for the Canadian Grand Prix in North America? Thank you very much, Marnus. Your first appearance this season and finishing P3. Congratulations, mate. Any questions for him, Dan?
No, I think you covered it all there, mate. Yeah, absolute cracking effort tonight, mate. It was really good. You made up some monumental positions there. But yeah, just on to the next track, though. We're going to the Americas, aren't we? How are you feeling about the next two tracks, mate? They're both crap. Oh, sorry, no, it's sorry, I do apologise. We've actually got a good track next. It's Canada first. So Canada, how are you feeling about Canada? Yeah, and then the two races after, we're going to Miami and then Vegas, which they're both love or hate tracks. I personally don't like either of them. I think they're shockingly bad. But how are you feeling about Miami and Las Vegas? Yeah, fair play. Okay. Good stuff, mate. Well, let's just keep this form up, and it should be a spicy finish to the season, mate. So fair play for tonight, mate, and looking forward to watching you on track.
As we move on to MDJ, so Mackie de Jong, congratulations. Welcome back to the top step of the podium. The last time you were on the top step was season 15 in Las Vegas. You spun, I think, in the split from memory. Then you came back to win the Grand Prix in the feature race. But here, from starting in P11 to finishing P1, and after the misery of the Japanese Grand Prix when you picked up that 3-second time penalty towards the end of the Grand Prix, then here in Qatar, kept it nice control and came back to finish in first place. That winning feeling's back, MDJ, and you must be really happy as well. Does this motivate you now? Does this bring you back to your ways?
Well, this is very motivating, yes. And knowing what the next game is going to be like is even better.
I'm very glad to hear those words, mate. Talk us through your race as well, because you steadily, like Melnus did, like Adams did, made your way through the field as well. You watched all the carnage unfold in front of you, and you made your way through as well. How did you feel when that safety car came out?
Oh, I never thought the safety car was gonna come out. I thought, like, I'm gonna do my pit stop a bit later, but then that safety car came out. It really helped me, and damn, I was so happy. But then once I got to the safety car, I was in my mind like, don't
Go on, say it.
don't ruin it, like Japan. Just don't ruin it. And then I didn't ruin it. I just Melnus got that 3-second time penalty, and then from then I made sure there was a gap between me and him, so I can just follow him without Adams trying to make a move. So that it was basically my strategy, just to keep the gap and make it safe for me.
I'm really glad you're back to the top of the field, because it really shows that despite struggling and despite being nowhere and taking a break from the game, it shows that you can revitalise yourself, make you get better and get better again, and make your way back towards the top. It really shows the mental strength of somebody who has really struggled and given up and everything that goes wrong, and just returning back, showing other people it can be done despite going through a long period of time where it goes wrong at all times, to making your way back towards the top end of the pecking order once again. And DJ, you've been through that as well, and I've certainly been through it as well. It is just very annoying, because something you love doing in terms of like league racing, because it's like a hobby, late at night for people who could do something at night and just enjoy, spend time with friends, etc., or make enemies, whatever you want to do, depends how you approach it. If you're Liam Lawson, you're not here to make friends, you're here to win races. But yeah, nice to see you come back to racing, mate. It's like, me and you, we've been like racing each other. Well, I say me and you known each other since 2018, and we've raced each other quite hard as well. We've been massive rivals, we've been teammates, etc. Now I'm in the commentary box. You're still racing, and it's just nice to see that after such a long period of time, you're still racing, and you still can show people what you're capable of as well. So it's nice to see you back towards the top end of the podium, and you're showing your race etiquette. You're still respectful on the track. You've learned differently as well, and you're adapting and adjusting towards this game, getting quicker and quicker, learning bit by bit as well, never giving up, and showing people that you still got the pace on your hands as well. So well done today, mate. You did a fantastic job, and those last few laps must have been worried for you as well.
Yeah, well, it's a bit late on the late. It's a bit on the late side to learn this game, as the new game is pretty much around the corner. And then from there, we have to learn that game again, all over again. Jimmy?
Sorry about that. I was on mute. I wasn't expecting. I wasn't expecting from like years and years ago when me and you were big championship rivals going at each other's throats, etc. Like obviously we were both younger as well, 15, 16 years old. Then to me interviewing you right now, it seems unreal, like uncanny as well. Just like to be me interviewing you right now is just unbelievable. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But anyways, MDJ, Andy Jadan, you got any questions for Mikey De Jong?
No, yeah, kind of the same question that I asked Melners. Is just obviously we've got Canada next week. How are you feeling for
that? Canada is not my best of the tracks, but I will do my best to be somewhere in the top 5.
And then obviously the elephant in the room, the most ridiculously, I want to swear again, the most ridiculously shite tracks on the calendar, the 2 American circuits we've got here. Vegas ain't too bad, it's alright, but Miami is absolute pish. How are you feeling for those 2 tracks?
Not gonna lie, pretty good.
Really?
He did well, Las Vegas.
Miami can go absolutely gorge on a donkey's phallus for all I care, because it's a rubbish track. Well, Vegas ain't too bad. I think you can actually have a good bit of racing around Vegas. It's okay. Well, but yeah, I think Miami's shocking.
With Vegas, I have this history of being very fast compared to other people, because I know my way around the corners and pushing my limits on the street surface.
Yeah, are you just basically setting yourself up for a failure by saying you're doing good at a track?
Absolutely. No, but to be fair, no, I'm very, very, very good in street circuits.
Mikey,
and that's
stop talking.
No, I'm not stopping. It's the same with Monaco. I'm always winning there.
Do you know what? No, fair play, mate. Fair play. If you're confident, that's good. I mean, I'm confident around Singapore. Like everyone knows, in SFR, it's my track. But if you're feeling that confident, mate, I can't wait to see you around that track, then, mate. That's gonna be awesome. So, Jamie, I'm booking in with you, mate, for that race. I'm booking in with you. We're doing it together.
Which track is that? Sorry. What track is that? Mike, Dan.
Vegas.
Oh, that's Vegas.
Yeah.
Oh, should we do it?
Are we going to short qualifying again?
Yeah, let's do short qualifying, the 50% races. Us 3 this time.
I'm gonna shoot off, boys. I'm gonna shoot off.
Us 3. Me versus MDJ.
But yeah, Jamie, I'll leave you to sign off the party, mate. And thank you so much for your commentary tonight, mate. It's a pleasure as always, mate. And I will see you in Vegas.
No worries. I'm going to sign it off here. Well, not yet. I'm going to demonstrate how quick I am. I want to do a quick lap around here in Qatar. So just watch.
Are you still streaming?
Yeah, I'm still streaming.
Yes, he is. Apologies to all our people who are viewing. You get to see our commentator going round this track. But I'll see you later, guys. Take care.
Yeah, see you, man.
Let's do something different. Before I end off this stream, I'm going to do a lap around here in Qatar. What was the pole time? 20.89? Let's see if I can beat it. Dan's gone now, so I'm going to do a lap around here in Qatar. Just watch me cook.
I'm just going on the track with you.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the stream. It's not over just yet. I'm going to be doing a lap around here in Qatar to see what it takes to be a Division 1 driver or Division 2. So watch me go around here in Qatar. So I'm going to walk you through this track as well. This is a very old setup as well, so I'm not quite sure how up to date it is, but we'll see. And for those who are just joining, I'm just going to do a flying lap around here in Qatar to see if I can beat these guys or not. See if I've got what it takes. So obviously coming down towards turn 1 here as well, be very, very careful. You want to hit the apex of the entry, run out wide in towards turn 1, and obviously take a wide entry through turn 2, lift off the throttle, back on the throttle once again using the outside curve. It's flat out through turn 3, and now we're heading towards turn 4, turn 5. There is a little trick in the ERS where you put it into medium, in towards the slow speed corners, and it really helps you regenerate that battery as well. So be very wary about that as we head down towards turn 6. This is the slowest corner on the track. You want to be very careful on the exit with traction. Heading down towards turn 7 as well, take a wide entry, cut back in, and make sure you don't drift out too wide, because this corner here can catch a lot of people out with the validations as we flick our way through now through this left-hander. Now this is not the way you want to take it, but I think I went a bit too wide on the entry, hence why I didn't hook up the exit. But let's see if the tyres are warm up to the optimal working range. They're still cold so far. Hopefully people are still watching, because I want them to see what I can do around here. I'm now coming towards left-hander. Obviously, it is flat, I think. Maybe a slight lift-off. Right, let's put it into hot lap. Obviously, I'm going to go silent for this lap. Shit. Oh, sorry. Sorry about that. I haven't validated. So I'm going to go for another lap. This is my first lap, guys, like in a long time, so just bear with me. I might do a second lap on these sets of compound tyres, so just bear with me.
You know what you should do?
Go on.
Like, do a hot lap before the race, and show it before the race.
I might do that. Yeah, I might do it. What, do you mean to, like, for Division 1 tomorrow?
I mean, maybe. Like, you can pre-record this and then show it on the screen.
How do I do that? I don't have OBS.
Oh, well, yeah, right. Do you even have enough fuel?
Yeah. I'm going to have to go back in the pit lane because I can't seem to do a lap.
Just end the stream, mate.
So I'm going to head back in the pit lane, do a one lap or two. This is my first time actually racing this track in a long time. Oops, I thought that was a pit lane entry, my bad. I promise you guys, I'm going to do one lap, one flying lap, then I'll end the stream. If those people are still watching, but yeah, I'd be surprised if you do or not.
Well, believe it or not, 10 watches.
Something I've never done before. This is probably my one and only appearance doing this.
Okay, so we're top of the speed trap, 318.7 kilometers per hour.
Welcome, who've just joined. Yes, I'm still aware I'm live streaming. I'm just trying to demonstrate how to do a lap around here in Qatar. I'm going to rerun the stream back towards qualifying to see if I can beat these guys' lap time. So the flying lap was a 20.9 from President Elite. So President Elite, I'm going to obliterate your lap time and see if I can put it on pole. I know Division 1 would be like mid-20, maybe 20.34.
No, I did a 21.5 or something.
I used to be good around this circuit, especially in the last game. But for those who are just joining, I'm still aware I'm live streaming. It is the end of the race. I'm just trying to beat the lap time of a 20.9 set by President Elite. But if I understeer there, the tyres are still cold. I'm not a Brendan Lee or Yana Otmir where I can commentate on my flying lap because that'll distract me. It was a Ferrari 1-2. Sorry about that. It was a Ferrari 1-2, of course. I think in a Ferrari 1-2. I think in the World Endurance Championship when I think they finished first and second as well. I think last month or 2 months ago when they raced around here with the World Endurance car, with the GT cars and the supercars, hypercars. Sorry. MotoGP also raced around here. I think the first race in MotoGP was back in 2004. We've seen some mega battles here in MotoGP, especially down the long straight, because if you didn't know, of course, on a MotoGP bike, it is way quicker in a straight line because they've got less wings, less aero in comparison to an F1 car. MotoGP, when they hit the top speed in on the straight, it is incredible.
We've only got 2 laps of fuel left.
Nope, I can't. So yeah, that's it. And I remember as well that these guys had slipstream from their teammates, so I can't do it unfortunately. But yeah, that's the end of that. And I'm 6 tenths off the best time in Division 2 with the helping hand, of course, with people having slipstream. But yes, well done to President Elite for taking pole. It's a shame about his race. But anyway, guys, that's it from me. And thank you so much, Energy Dan. I know he's left by now. But yes, thank you so much for being alongside me. And I'll see you all for Division 1 tomorrow for Qatar. But Division 4, 3, Division 4, 3 and 2, we move on to the Canadian Grand Prix. For North America, we'll see how that race goes. But for now, goodbye. And see you tomorrow for me and Owen Mansell to see what happens in Division 1 tomorrow.